Hello, this is Tando from Cosmic Spark, and I'm back again with another video. This one is going to be a pick a card. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, but this one is going to be on how to manifest your desires. So with each pile, I'm going to ask what desires are relevant for the pile, and then what spirit thinks you should do to be able to bring your desires in faster, or just to bring them in general, okay? Perfect. Alrighty, the next section, I'm going to get you to pick your pile and then we're off.
Choose your pile wisely.
Hello, pile one. If you picked the first image, then this is your pile. So, first things first, I will ask Spirit what your desires are. Yeah, let me use the tower. Angels, Ancestors, Spirit, I welcome you into this reading. For pile one, please let me know what the desires of pile one are. I'm going to pick 3 cards, thank you. And one more card for pile one. One more card for pile one, please, Spirit. Queen of Cups. Okay, so we've got Judgment, 3 of Wands. I'm just going to tell you what they are in the original Rider-Waite so it's less confusing for you. Queen of Cups. So the desires that we have for this pile involve a new beginning. It involves planning for the future and for work, and being more emotionally regulated. Okay, I'm going to use a combination of my Lenormands as well as my Oracle. Angels, Ancestor, Spirit, how can pile one manifest their desires? Three cards from this deck, please, Spirit. How can pile one manifest their desires? The Unknown, Radical Self-Love, and Distorted Perceptions. Okay. Right, so to clarify, let me move. Okay, perfect. All right, pile one, to clarify. So your desires have to do with turning over a new leaf, working on your career, or just future planning in general, and feeling a lot more emotionally in command of your own emotions. Like you're not just easily swayed, you are perceptive, you are appropriately emotional for the right circumstance, and you appear to be someone who has that firmly under your control. Or at least that's what you're wanting. That's what you want more of for yourself. So if any of those are what you're looking for, then keep listening to the rest of this pile. In terms of manifesting your desires, there is a sense here that you need to be a little bit cunning. You need to be smart and strategic about the things that you want. So if you are wanting to feel like you have a new lease on life and you've turned over a new leaf, you can do this by utilizing your smarts. So we've got the Fox, and your personality, we've got the Sun. So you could do this by making a decision on what it is in your life that feels wrong and that you want to change, and then walking around and acting as though you have entered the new reality that you want, right? And so if you want to be giving off more confidence or more emotionally mature vibes, then now you can show yourself this new reality by showing up to places as though you already have that confidence. So you could watch a bunch of people that you I wouldn't say idolize, but let's just say that you look up to, that you think are the epitome of confidence. For example, mine in particular, someone that I compare myself to, because I think I'm very similar to her, is Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer, naturally charismatic, naturally just, she gives off confident vibes. And so you would watch her, you would watch how she comes across, and then you would try to implement that. Now, you don't have to copy her mannerisms or copy her everything, but you write down, so you watch her, for example, and you write down what it is about, say, Kiki, that you think sells you on the thing that you don't have that you want to attain. And then you write down what it is that you could do that would match up to that. So what actions could you take? What things could you say? How would you respond to situations? And then go out into the world and utilize that. And the more that you're utilizing this new persona, the more that people will believe it. If you are tentative about the change that you need to make, people around you will sway you and say things that will change your opinion because you don't even feel confident about where this is coming from. Give me 1 second. I just realized mid-filming that I didn't have a microphone, and it might not make a big difference, but I do like how it sounds with the microphone. Okay, so yeah, utilize your cunning nature, make actual changes in how you present yourself in terms of how you respond to people. So for example, if you're trying to come across as more emotionally mature, then you know what's a really good sign of emotional maturity? Working on reactivity. So I think I'm a very emotionally mature person. And so I try not to be reactive to things as soon as I see them. If someone or something makes me angry, I try and sit in that and get a level head about why it is that it makes me feel this way, etc. And then I can address it when I'm calm, cool, and collected. If someone is popping off right in front of my face, I always keep a level, calm voice, and I try not to get riled up. Especially the more emotional someone gets, honestly, the more flat I get, the more monotonic I get, the more, because that can de-escalate a situation. How is someone going to keep fussing at you when you're not fussing back, right? And so, yeah, that's like a few things that I'm getting that you could do for yourself. And then this also works in terms of business. So you know that you want to get a promotion. And no matter how you feel, maybe you're a little bit more introverted and you're worried that sometimes in life and in workplaces, it's sort of the Olympics of the loudest, the one who sucks up the most, the one who, is a bit cringy but remembers that the boss likes coffee and like brings it to him. And you're worried that that person is going to get promoted over you. Who, when we look at your stats and your KPIs, you actually do everything that someone in that position should be able to do in terms of workload. You hit all your milestones in time. You've actually already started climbing the ladder. And so you're kind of in a perfect position too. And so if that relates to you, or if there's any sort of workplace scenario about your career that you're pondering, you want to make changes towards, then you can do this by making changes with how you present yourself. Now, this doesn't have to mean that you become fake or you become different, but you analyze what it is that you think would give you the thing that you want, and then you ask yourself what you could reasonably do to take that on without compromising yourself, like your own personality and your value system, and you implement that. As far as I'm concerned, my Jupiter is in Capricorn, and I just think of life as a game. And maybe it's the Libran in me where the scales have to be balanced at some stage. And so I look at every little steps that I take as just a part of the game. And so I think of learning as much as I can esoterically, psychologically, all of those things as me learning how to play the game, me learning about body language, me learning about what narcissism is and how it looks like. All of these things are just things that you can do to play the game. I think where possible, utilizing people around you that you enjoy and you like hanging out with and you respect, utilizing their thoughts and opinions about how you should strategize. This doesn't mean you put it all on the other person so that when it doesn't work out for you, you can blame them, but utilize your own intuition. Speak to, that man that you work with that is already maybe not in the exact position, but maybe at the level that the position that you're going for is. So you can ask him what he did to play the game. Even ask him what kind of competitors he had when he was still rising the ranks, and what he thinks made him stand out apart from the other people and made him be able to be chosen and get the position that he's looking for. So I've got the messenger here. So corresponding with the right people, like making business contacts. So networking would be very, very good for you. So if you're an introvert, your superpower could be speaking to people one-on-one, as opposed to like at a work party, you gathering a crowd around you and riveting them with stories of your travels and how you won this game of poker with these business people, and then you impressed them, and then you got a deal, and it closed, and then you're the one who got the company an award. Like, that might not be your forte, but your forte could be making really good impressions one-on-one on pivotal people that could help you climb the ladder. I know it's really annoying to be, to have to network, or even to have to play games to get what you need to get, or to get what you want to get, but you don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, you can hate the game all you want, but the game exists anyway. You could choose. It's like, when you're a hippie and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna choose to like live in my own little world and like live on this little commune and grow my own food, love all that stuff. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's like, okay, you can do that, but you still live in a country that has rules and laws. And even though maybe while you're living on your commune, you can operate in your own little bubble, as soon as you go and buy food in a shop, now you're not operating in your bubble. As soon as you go do this, now you're not operating in a bubble, right? And so there was a message in there somewhere. Okay. Hi, Lucy. Hi. Hi. And so, how else you can manifest these desires that you have power on is trusting in yourself, trusting in your intuition, trusting in that feminine part of yourself that knows more than you know. I would say also meditating. Like, if you feel like you struggle to follow your own intuition and your own instincts, meditating would be a really good way to do that. If you're someone who's spiritual, specifically in the realms of like you have tarot cards yourself, doing a daily card draw can be a really, really good way to connect with the self and to connect with the intuition in a really, really nice way. Distorted perception. So I feel like this distorted perception card kind of works with this personality card as well. And I feel that if you are walking around and acting as though you're in this new reality where you are and you already have what it is that you want to manifest, you will bring it into your waking world. So you want to manifest having a higher position than the one that you already own. So you walk to work like you're someone who's not embarrassed to be in that job. So you're a cleaner, right? And you're walking to work like you're going to do the most important things, that if someone were to dare stop you, even to give you like a little street interview, you're like, I got places to be, I got people to see, I got, meetings to be a part of, whatever it is. And then when opportunities present themselves at work where you can help someone and you can show that you have the skills to be the one that is well utilized when the boss is away, then you take the stand, you take the opportunity when someone appears to be in distress or needs assistance. You take the opportunity, you help them, and then you put yourself in the position of the boss. If the boss was here, this is how they would handle this person having a question. And so the boss isn't there in the present moment, or the boss is like handling something else important. So you step up and you do the thing that needs to be done. And so you're kind of walking around and acting like you already have that which you do not have. And so for this pile, it would be really, really important for you. Maybe watch videos on people that want to manifest their desires and talk about timeline shifting and acting as though you already have, journaling as though you already have. So when journaling your desires on a new life and a new creative direction with your career, you could write things like, I am a manager at X. I walk around and everyone respects me when I'm at this place. And then you not only journal that, but you walk around and you implement the things that that I've already described. And last but not least, it's not all about you, making changes that will facilitate the growth that you want, like in the sense of you taking logical actions, logical, cunning actions to your goals. It's also about you being in a place of radical self-love. Choose you at the end of the day. Realize that you deserve all your desires, and because you deserve all your desires, it means that you have no choice but to implement the things that you want, because it's probably that the things want you too. The things are calling out to you as well, and that's why you have the impulses in the first place. I hope that this has been useful. I hope you enjoyed. If you picked another pile, I will see you there. If you need a reading, all the details are in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you pick the second image, then this is your pile. So I'm going to ask Spirit first what your desires are, and then we will get into how you can make those a reality. Angels, Ancestor, Spirit, can you please let me know what pile 2's desires are, so we can get stuck right into it. For me and their highest and greatest good only, we rebuke any trickster spirits. Okay, what are pile 2's desires, please, Spirit? What are pile 2's desires, please, Spirit? Pile 2's desires. Six of Pentacles. Pile 2's desires. Another Six of Pentacles. Okay, there's a theme. This is basically 2 decks put together. That's why, because you might be like, that's impossible. And one last card, please, Spirit. Justice. Alrighty, I'm going to do the same format as the last one. So, Lenormands to clarify. Angels, Ancestor, Spirit. How can pile 2 manifest their desires? How can pile 2 manifest their desires? How can pile 2 manifest their desires? Thank you. All right, 3 more cards, please. How can pile 2 manifest their desires? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, let's get right into it. So, pile 2, your desires have to do with equity. It has to do with feeling like you're getting as much out of what you are doing as you should. So, for example, if you're working for an employer, you need to make sure, or you want to manifest feeling like you're being paid what you are worth for what you actually do and the value that you actually provide to the workplace. There's also a sense here of you're wanting to manifest more luxury and more feelings of abundance, feelings of financial ease, feelings of material ease, and feelings of, you're so abundant that you could be generous with yourself and with others. And so there's a real monetary theme here. And with the Justice, I would even say a lot of it has to do with career. So you want to manifest something to do with your work life that will allow you the financial freedom to feel like you can buy not just your necessities, but also a few luxuries, and then be able to give and feel like you're doing things from a place of power, and that power comes from emotional stability, right? And harmony. So, how could you bring those desires and manifest them? You could do this by making applications. So, if you know that you're in a company and you're in a position that isn't well paying, but you have the skills to climb the ladder and get a better paying position in the same company, that's if that relates to you, then you need to start putting in applications for something that's better. The thing is, at the end of the day, you can't necessarily change the systems that be. You can't change the workplace to think that your present position requires more in terms of payment and for your services. You can't make those changes alone. You can try, and if you're feeling called to, then don't let me stop you, because I'm just a reader online and this is a general reading. So you start making applications and you start registering your interest as you see positions pop up that you think would be better paying to give you the life that you want to lead, while also utilizing the skills that you already have and or upskilling if that's what you need. So if you're watching this and you know that you desire more for yourself, but you haven't actually taken the first step, that step is applying for the positions that you're looking for, then why don't we start there? And if it's not that, if you don't think that your company could facilitate a wage that you think would be aligned with the value that you provide, perfectly fine, nothing to worry about there. You start applying for other positions elsewhere, because you already know how you want to feel. You want to feel like this gorgeous lady looks. You want to feel relaxed, luxurious, like you're not worrying about the day-to-day things, like you have the excess money to just do cute things for yourself, like buy yourself flowers and maybe get yourself some incense or something like that. You know what I mean? I mean, those things aren't expensive, but they are expensive when you don't have a lot of expendable income, right? Because then why would you do that when you could put money away for a rainy day or, a medical emergency or something like that? And so there's this advice to start putting in expressions of interest, whether in your job or with other positions, and just get the energy moving. Get the energetic signature out there. Put it out there into the universe that this is what you're looking for. If you're confused about where you want to go next, because there's this energy that you might not even know what exactly you would do. You just know that what you're earning at the moment isn't what you want. You're not feeling comfortable. You're not feeling an equal give or take. My advice always when you're stuck is just pick a thing to try and try that for a bit. And then if that doesn't work, pick another thing to try, because I think it is unrealistic for you to know exactly what you want to do, where you want to go at every stage. But if you know that where you are right now is unsatisfying, then write a list of things, jobs, positions, places to live, whatever is relevant, that you have always wanted to try. And then from that point, you just pick something that maybe feels the easiest to try based on where you are at the moment, or whatever just calls out and is the most exciting thought at that time. And you just follow that train of thought, because sometimes we don't know what we want, but if we have things that we can try, we can gain that knowledge through experience. I think sometimes we are always sold the idea that you get the most out of life when you already know everything ahead of time. And I just think that's unrealistic, even for people that have known that they wanted to be a doctor since they were 5 and then proceeded to do that and go to medical school. There'll be other aspects of their lives where they just don't have a clue what they want to do in that aspect. And so, don't sit around and feel jealous of people that know everything, or that appear to know what their next 3 to 10 steps are. And just write down everything that you like and have an interest in, and then slowly start ticking it off, because you will just gain so much. And when I have done that, I've realized that there's actually a really huge theme in the things that I like. So it actually made it easier now, and it will make it easier in the future for me to make selections, because I realize that there's a theme in the things that I like. So it taught me something by allowing myself the varied expression and trying different things. Then Spirit also says that you can assist yourself in manifesting things by talking to your friends. If you've got friends that are in the positions that you're looking for, so people that are looking financially abundant, and you also know, so if you're someone who's maybe from a low socioeconomic background and you have a friend who's either from a low or middle class background, but you feel like they've worked for that abundance and achieved it, then they're the person to speak to, because they have worked for it and achieved it. But if they're abundant because they were born into it, I'm not saying don't, think that they could give you any advice, but maybe not this kind of advice, because very different situations. If you're needing to work for your abundance, or work to align yourself with abundance and get on its frequency, then ask someone who's had to align themselves in that way. and make that a reality as well. And yeah, I feel that if you start putting yourself out there and putting across all the applications that you need, you get clear on what you're interested in trying. Like, what kind of things would you be interested in trying to up level? What industries are you interested in? You know, what, like, if you were to be in financial abundance, where would you want to live? What would you want to spend your money on? Just get these things out somewhere, get them on paper, speak to a friend about it, get clear by at least understanding the breadth of things that you're interested in, and then start ticking off, as I said. And from there, new beginnings. You open new doors for yourself. It's as easy as that. All right, 3 final cards to end the reading with. Radical self-love. Just like the previous pile, this is something that you need to manifest your desires. Love yourself so hard, okay? If you're someone who really values your work ethic, maybe that's why you're in this pile. You value your work ethic, you value your career. That's a very important aspect of yourself. I want you to think of how much effort you put when you go to a workplace, how much effort you put into showing up on time, you know, doing your makeup if that's your sort of thing, dressing up if that's something that applies to your job and there's some creative expression there, doing your KPIs and your statistics. Let's look at all of those things combined. Let's think of how much brain space it takes you to be able to do all of those things and show up correctly. And then let's think about your self-love practices. Are you showing up for yourself the way that you'd show up for your boss? Are you putting as much time into researching what you could do to improve your self-esteem as you are what you can do to improve how you come across in a professional context? Take yourself and your self-love as a full-time job and as something that doesn't need to be put away when you're having a good time, and it's just something that you focus on when you're struggling and you want to align yourself. Make self-love a priority and it will feed you in return. You fill your own cup by caring about yourself and doing things that are intentionally supposed to regulate your nervous system, and just watch how it unfolds over the rest of your life. Transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arises in your path. I love the image of this lady. She looks Aboriginal, at least like Indigenous Australian. I don't know if that is correct, but she looks it. And so that kind of brings to mind the ancient wisdom of your ancestors. I always see myself as an amalgamation of all of my ancestors and everything that has come before me. And I think that you need to realize that in your ancestral line, and when it comes to epigenetics, because I have an interest in that, you have, if you know, you're a woman especially, you have the same mitochondrial DNA as your mother and your grandmother and all that sort of stuff. And so there's so much actual evidence that we are a representation of everything that came before us, apart from the fact that you probably look like your mom, your aunt, your great 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 aunt. It's not just in the visuals. And so imagine that back in the day and back in time, someone in your familial line was really really proficient at business. You know, maybe they owned their own business, maybe they were living in abundance and living the soft life. And so if you trust in yourself and in your inner guidance system, and you do the things that you can put in place just to keep you on the straight and narrow, meditating on a regular basis. I think yoga on a regular basis is so good for you as well. Journaling, like therapy, whatever it is that you do that keeps you sane and good, the rest takes care of itself, because you've got this ancient memory that lives within you that allows you to make better decisions and show up correctly. And so I think you should trust that your ancestral team and that everything that has come before you in your family will lead you in the right path, and you will get exactly where you need to go. Love. I could feel the channeling right there. Okay, and then sharing. There is giving and receiving and giving. There is a real sense in this pile, and partially in pile 1, that engaging your community is going to help you. Engaging your friends, maybe engaging people in your family that exhibit the qualities that you're looking for that are already in the place. Like, please, 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 please don't have too much ego to ask for help from people that are already successful. Please, 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 please don't think that it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. It is actually so good for you to just put your hand up and say, I don't know everything and I could improve. and that's how you improve. There's a humility that comes with getting where you need to go. And I think when you don't have that humility, I don't think that takes you very far. But that's just me personally. And that's me as a spiritualist. Even if it did take you far, is your soul still intact? You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, pile 2, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know down below that which pile was for you and why. If you'd like a personal reading, you can find me at cosmicspark.blog, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, 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 pile 3. If you've picked the last image, then this is your pile. Let's get into it. First questions first. Spirit, can you tell me what pile 3's desires are, please, and thank you. Angels, ancestor, spirit, what are pile 3's desires? So we can understand how to bring those desires to life. The Emperor. 6 of Swords in the regular Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Queen of Cups, just like pile 1. Fascinating. Okay. It do be what it do be. Okay, I'm going to pull exactly like I did for pile 1 and 2. So Lenormand's to ask, how can pile 3 bring these manifestations to life? How can pile 3 make these manifestations a reality? Okay. And last but not least, 3 oracles, please, Spirit. How can pile 3 bring their desires, their manifestations to life? Distorted perceptions, again, just like pile 2. Home, this one's a bit different. And lastly, trusting tricksters. Perfect. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, pile 3, your desires have to do with dominance. You need and want to have more control over, in general, every aspect of your life, because the Emperor is a boss everywhere that he goes. He's not a boss in some rooms, he's a boss everywhere he goes, and that's what you're looking for. You want to attain better mastery over the self and over the outcomes that you see in your physical reality. I see that you have desires to travel, and you want to have better mastery over your emotions. Okay, beautiful. So pile 1, how you can bring your manifestations to reality. I feel that some of you are getting messages spiritually from your spiritual team. It's very, very unusual for me to read the card this way because this is the ring in the Lenormands and it's typically a proposal or commitment. But I'm focusing on the tree of life in the ring. And I feel that some of you are going to gain wisdom about how to get your manifestations in the physical realm if you look out around you in your environment, because spirit is sending you messages. So I've got the messenger here and then the ring, and yeah, typically if we're just going to look at it at face value, you know, that's a messenger and then a commitment or a proposal or whatever. But I'm getting it that you are already receiving messages in your general world. You know how people go out into the world and look out for signs? The sign could be a feather that like floats in front of you, it lands on the ground in front of you. A sign can be a number thing, maybe 232 is a special number to you. it's not always like 1 1 2 2 2 2 3, but maybe that is for you as well. And so it's like you will be receiving the right downloads if you are going out into the universe and into the world with a sense of wonder. And I want you to do a mantra before you leave the house, especially in the mirror, something like, I am open to receiving the messages that spirit grants me, or I am open to receiving messages from the Lord. Whatever your belief system is, do some sort of mantra or manifestations, mantra or affirmation where you are affirming that you are an open vessel to receive, so to speak, and then go out into the universe with a sense of wonder and a sense that blessings can come from anywhere and any place. A blessing could be you speak to a little toddler, you see a little toddler in a shopping center, maybe the mom is like ordering something and the toddler stands in front of you and you have a cute little conversation with the toddler, but then afterwards you're like, oh my God, that reminds me of my childhood and da, 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 da. And then it like leads you. It's like, I'm getting this image, and I always get this image of like a detective with like all these pictures on a wall and like red string connecting the images. And he's like, I got it, that kind of energy. It's like, as you go out into the world and you're having these experiences where you're open to receiving messages, even from the strangest places, you are going to have a lot of things unlock for you and unfurl. Okay, I believe that if you're in a relationship, this is really, really random, but I think if you're in a relationship that feels really healthy and happy, then your commitment to this relationship and your commitment to this person that brings you life and that makes you feel larger than life, that doesn't beat you down, that isn't like your terrible exes, that feels almost like a dream. It's insane how you could have met someone like this. If that sounds like you and you're in a relationship like that, then there's something here about you committing to your relationship in like a true and intrinsic sense, you showing up as the partner that your partner deserves, that is going to open so many doors for you. Like, you will be blessed from the universe by taking a gift that you've been given and giving it the appropriate reverence, by treating it like it is as important as it actually is. So if that relates to you, that's something that Spirit told me. So there you go. Okay. You can manifest more of your desires by treating yourself. There's this sense that maybe you don't treat yourself enough. Maybe you're actually a little too serious, pile 3. Maybe you're so serious about your go-getting nature. I'm getting this like really resilient, energy from you. You're someone who knows exactly what you want, exactly where you're going, and maybe not all the steps in between, but like the high level stuff, where it's leading to. Like, you want to be a boss ass bitch who runs like a multinational corporation, right? Or you just want to own your little small business and that be your little thing. You want to be an accountant, but you want to be a partner in your accountancy firm, something along those lines. It's the sense that you have this larger than life ambition. It's giving Capricorn, you know what I mean? It's like, or even Aries, because the Emperor's an Aries. But you're someone who's like, I don't just want to like work really hard and just earn all these accolades. I want people to be able to see it. I want to be able to take vacations exactly where I want to go, how I want to have it done, and not worry that I didn't have this, that, on the third. You are someone who comes across as someone who already has a good command of themselves and only wants to get better. Like, if people are sick of you because they think you're perfect, you're like, bitch, you don't even know anything yet. Like, I'm not done. Like, I'm not done going for this goal. Okay. You're like, I'm not even done yet. Okay. I have so many more places that I can go, so many countries I can visit. You think I'm too much now? You ain't seen nothing yet. That's the kind of energy that you're giving. You can manifest your desires, as with most people, by doing shadow work. Speaking to your subconscious brain by asking yourself certain questions, because as much as you're reaching for control in all aspects of things, I kind of feel like you're already a control freak, and it takes one to know one, sis. I am too. And so maybe asking yourself questions about what this control has done for you, because obviously it's done so much for you to want to still attain more. But then also, are there places that you could let go of the brakes a little bit, that it would give you something? I have been told by people and in readings that I could gain more blessings by allowing a lot more spontaneity in my life. And I'm someone who's got a lot of earthy energy, and I like to plan ahead. I like to know where I'm going, what I'm doing when I'm getting there. I'm very adventurous. I still get things done even though I plan ahead. Like, I don't think it stops me from having fun, but it would be very resistant of me for me to say that and just leave it there. But I think what they're saying is I could have some more interesting, authentic, loving, and experiences that could add to my well-being in ways that I can't foresee it, because I'm always leaning on my comfort level, which is planning, right? So it's giving that sort of energy. There's an energy here that what you want to attain, you might already have. And there are ways in which it might not be serving you. So maybe let's do some shadow work about what that looks like, so that as you go into the future and you're becoming more of a badass, more of a controlled human being, are you doing that in a way that isn't also putting your foot in it and blocking other blessings as well? Because I wouldn't want that for you. And then here, I think that you could manifest your desired travel, because I see you wanting to travel internationally. But and I say this a lot in my personal life. I think if you want to travel, your want to travel shouldn't have anything to do with where it is, really. If you have a general love of travel, show the universe that you have a love of travel by traveling short distances and traveling within your local environment. I think that all the time. Instead of waiting for when I have the money to go on an international trip, for it to then feel worthy and like, oh my God, I'm doing something, cool and interesting. How about you just go to to this town that you haven't visited that's apparently really cute, and they have these really cute stores, and there's a really nice beach, but you've never been there. That's all that you need. An interest in the place, because maybe it looks aesthetically pleasing, maybe it has activities that you want to do when you're there. You've never been there and you have a want. That's all you need. Go travel. Travel to another town, travel to another state. Your country, wherever you're from, is so much bigger than you give it credit for, because I bet you haven't even been to half the places in your country. And so show the universe that you have a traveling spirit by doing it and not waiting for this like perfect outcome. And then it will just happen. It will just come to you. And then once it aligns, now you're doing bigger, better things. But you can still come across as this interesting, well-traveled person, even if you're not leaving your country, because you know more than the next person who also doesn't travel within their own country. We can really get stuck in survival, which is understandable because where the world's economies are at the moment, like everyone's struggling, totally makes sense. But when people are thinking of the soft life, they're always thinking of, okay, I'll only have the soft life once I attain this and once I reach this level. And I think when you want to implement this soft life, you start off with what you have. If you can only afford $5 candles from the reject shop, you buy that $5 candle and you light it and you feel great that you're getting a nice little scent. It's very cute. You do a little routine with it. You do little rituals with it. Why do you need to wait until you can afford to buy a whole botanica for it to then be valid? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. When you want to bring in the when you want to match vibrations with something that you're wanting to attain, you want to implement things in the now. And so how can you do that? By looking at where you are and what you can reasonably afford to bring in that will emulate that feeling that you want to have when you can actually buy the thing that you want. It's all like it's in the same vein as just having gratitude. If you're having gratitude for where you are now, more things are going to come to you and more doors are going to open and more things that you want are going to find their way to you, because you're showing the universe that you're not waiting until you get a Maserati, a mansion, before you give thanks. You're showing the universe that you're above the small things. You're above like materialism. You know what I mean? You just want to live well. And materialism is a way that you can live well in this life, but you can show the universe with what you already have that you are deserving of more. Why should you get more when you don't appreciate what you already have? Come on, sis. It's not rocket science. So again, like pile 2, distorted perceptions. I think it was pile 2. So live as though you're in the reality that you want to attain. You know, when people are being extremely emotional around you, you take the time out to hold space for them, give them good advice. When people are being emotionally reactive, you don't be emotionally reactive. You keep a level head between the two of you, and then later you can go offload to someone and be like, that was a lot. Like, I had to really have some restraint. But it takes those sorts of actions to become the Queen of Cups, to become someone who is both emotional but level-headed. Your emotions are your superpower at that point when there's something that you work with and not something that overwhelms you, right? Distorted reality. You want to travel? Start implementing that right now, where you are. That's it. I'm not going to say any more on that one. Home. May your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. Okay? Taking care of your physical body will give you so many blessings. Making sure that you're eating well, making sure that you're exercising. Try different things. I know you might not like exercising, but have you thought that maybe you haven't found the exercise that you would enjoy? People rag on classes, but maybe classes are the only thing that gets you out of the house and gets you to exercise, because you can't do self-directed exercise. Knowing yourself makes it such that you don't stop yourself from doing things because of a perceived barrier. Okay? You want to eat better, but you're like, I don't like the traditional things that people think are healthy. How about we start expanding our horizons? Maybe let's look at like healthy Asian food, healthy South American food, because there might be something in that cooking of another culture and in those ingredients that make you enjoy it and make you eat better, right? And so it's like, I want you to take care of your body and treat it like it's just an act of self-love and self-devotion, isn't it? If you were dating someone, the love of your life, and they were struggling to eat well, and you were really in love, wouldn't you cook for them, plan meals, do all of these action-based things to assist them in achieving their goals? If you said yes to that, why wouldn't you do that for yourself? That's something that you need to work on. Trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Just be a little cunning. You know, allow yourself to watch your environment, watch who is winning, you know, in the ways that you want to win. Understand the game that they're playing and how they're playing it. Keep your enemies closer, even, you know, and just be discerning. You can have people in your life that you know are there to assist you with attaining certain goals, but these aren't the same people that would be your confidants. These aren't the same people that you would ask X, Y, and Z. That is something that only you should know from your own discernment. And if you're struggling with discernment, work on your intuition, work on trusting yourself, work on making decisions for yourself, by yourself, without asking other people. And then as you fail or have successes, you take that information, you amalgamate it, and you make new decisions, and you gain more data that way, and you learn more self-trust. Pile 3, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I enjoyed giving it to you. If you liked, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. If you would like a personal tarot reading, you can find me at cosmicspark.blog, and I'll see you in the next one.